we always save dessert for last. And the last speaker is Mr. Nicolas Fornage. He's the director for the AFD India, and he's going to be speaking of the strategy of financial interventions with a focus on select projects. Money is an important thing to make things happen. So let's welcome Nicolas, and we hope to hear from him. Thank you. Thank you, Nicolas.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. So I'm a country director for French Development Agency in India. I must say, I feel a bit like the odd duck here, because contrarily to all of you, I'm not a technical specialist on smart grids. I'm just a financial guy, so please bear with me for a few minutes. The other point is that I'm not talking about digitalization of grids. I will talk about how can we support and how do we support in not only in India but in other countries smart grid revolution. So first of all, most of you might not know what we are doing in India, so and who we are. So we are 100% public development finance institution. We're one of the main tools of French bilateral cooperation. And in India, we are working on these sectors, mostly on urban infrastructure. You can see that half our portfolio is on metros. So if you have taken a metro in Kochi or Bangalore, you have used some of the funds were provided to them. We are also involved into smart cities, but we have, to be true, we have 28% of our portfolio, like 1/3, let's say, on our portfolio on green energy. And by green energy, we think not only renewable energy, which we are funding, but also energy efficiency. And just to give you an example, we heard about the contract between Enedis and ESL. We are funding ESL for the street lighting program. So just to give you this example, we have other examples. Over the last 10 years, we have provided more than 1.6 billion euro of total funding in India. Out of which 98% is with loans. We're providing loans to India mostly. And within these loans, most of them are through G2G loans. We are providing money to the central government. Central government is on lending to the final beneficiary. We're also doing a non-sovereign loan, meaning a direct loan to public companies without any guarantee from the central government. We do have grants, 2% grants in our total portfolio, more than 30 million euros. This has been done mostly with the help of European Union, who is a big partner of us, and we are partnering with them. They are providing technical assistance and capacity building funds, and we're using them for our projects. We think, globally speaking, we think that smart grids are a very important component of what we can do towards the major changes which are happening. You all know these changes very well. Climate change is there, prices, volatility of fuel prices, but also on the plus side, booming market of renewable energies, energy efficiency gaining momentum, and grids becoming smarter. So we are working on that in order to reach the keyword here would be flexibility. We see very interesting trends like centralized power toward decentralized power, conventional switching to renewable, fixed power towards flexible power, with some obstacles, grid instability, grid congestion, and volatile financial markets. For this, we do have two possibilities to work on that with smart grids, but also with intelligent markets. Okay, so what is, according to us, in our thinking from our headquarters, what is for us a smart utility and how can we support that? So for us, smart utility is going to integrate more and more renewables, to be more flexible with smarter grids, to develop new services, very important, not only to customers, but also to generators. And all the while, this is a financial guy speaking, so all the while optimizing CapEx and OpEx. And this is very important because it was very well developed by Mr. Jourdain earlier in the discussion. We have to do the investment only if necessary. And smart grids or smart utilities are very much part of a solution to lower your capex and your opex. We think, although we are financing through the world, especially in Africa, we're financing quite a lot of transmission lines. It's part of the sector. We are including in our support to transmission line digital solutions like SCADA or ERP. We do have this possibility of financing green corridors like those who exist in India. But we think that there is a very strong work to be done on medium voltage and low voltage on grid and distribution, with improving of SAIDI and SAIFI, with fighting losses, improving billing, and once again integrating also on the low voltage grid renewable energies like rooftop solar, plus peak shaving and grid access. So all of these projects are part of what we can finance and what we are financing. So in order to reach for this objective, we are able to provide support to governments by providing helping them to reaching clear vision, to define the strategy, to address the constraints, to integrate smart bricks at all levels of the energy chain. And we can do that using a transversal program approach or a programmatic approach or a budgetary approach. And generally speaking, it's very important for us. We try to integrate French know-how at every step of the way. So maybe I would give you a first example in India. We are working in the Madhya Pradesh state, but beyond the only state of Madhya Pradesh, we can offer supports to DISCOM. So this would be mostly through G2G operation, because we cannot directly lend money to state-owned utilities. We can only do that with public federal companies. However, through our sovereign loans, we can offer both long-term concessional loans, all are relevant with ODA, Official Development Aid. Generally, it's 20 years loans with 5 years grace period, and we can provide anything between 80 and 200 million euro of total fundings. But with the help of our partners from European Union mainly, we can provide technical assistance with study tours, capacity building, preparation of DPR. So all of this is possible. And we do have the possibility to also, with European Union, to blend grant components to the loan in order to subsidize very innovative or pilot experimentations. So good example for that is what we're doing in Madhya Pradesh. We have been requested by MPP MCL in Madhya Pradesh to help them providing a smart grid operation. We did a small study with a French consultant called AETS in 2017, and in 2018 was launched FASEP funding, like direct funding on technical assistance from French government. With EDF. So EDF is currently working in Madhya Pradesh in order to propose a roadmap for a smart grid project. And our objective at short term, possibly in 2020, is to provide a fund, a loan towards Madhya Pradesh through a sovereign loan in order to support them in their smart grid operation. I can give you another example, which is very interesting, because this one is already signed. It's beginning now. It's in Tunisia. They have a utility company both for electricity and gas, which is called STEG. We just recently signed a 120 million euro loan towards STEG with a 2.5 million euro technical assistance grant. The objective is to modernize the whole operation. So we are going to provide 4 lakh smart meters, which represent approximately 10% of the national market. Interestingly, it's not only for electricity, but it's also for gas. And we are also providing this technical assistance grant will be used for digital components at the level of the national utility. We are going to work in the Sfax area. Sfax is the economic capital of Tunisia. We'll divide the Sfax area in 3 zones, and we are going to launch tender processes to recruit 1 concession operator for like a different one for every zone. In that way, the STEG, the utility, will be able to compare different processes, different technologies, and different methodologies. And at the end of the day, the objective after this project is to replicate the best solution which will have been proven on the ground to other areas of Tunisia. And finally, I would finish with that. It's a project we're considering in Bangladesh, just next door. In Bangladesh, we have a very interesting project on energy sector, which is focused on power factor. So it's interesting because, as far as I know, AFD, as of now, has not yet funded any power factor improvement project. So we are going to finance capacitor banks to improve the power factor and to make sure that the company, the DPDC company, which is a distribution public company, will not pay huge fees linked to the low power factors they're having right now. In addition to this loan, which might be 100 million euro, we are discussing with our partners of EU to get a grant of 12 million euro, which will be used for 1 lakh smart meters. It's a, you might say, large-scale pilot experimentation in Dhaka. It has not been done so far, not at all, and with the objective of reducing losses, of testing methodology, and at the end of the day also to replicate the best possibility, best solution in other parts of Bangladesh. So some elements of conclusion to finish my presentation. Smart grids are definitely very interesting for AFD in general, but in Asia in particular, for a lot of reasons. It's energy efficiency, so it's like fighting climate change. So it's fully in line with our obligation as a French donor. We have a full obligation to be compliant with Paris Agreement. Contribution to energy efficiency, which is one of the two pillars of green energy financing. Fully compliant with at least 3 sustainable development goals, number 7, 9, and 13. You all know what they are, I'm sure. But it's like in line with the international agenda. It's also a step towards better integration of renewable energy in the network, which is like a huge topic in India. You're with the 175 gigawatt of upcoming renewable energy injected into the network, it will raise a lot of difficulties on the network. It's also, it's not mentioned here, but it's also a step towards digitalization, clearly. So it's also part of our strategy. And it's fully in line with the Smart Cities mission. So when we fund a solar park somewhere in the rural area of Andhra Pradesh, let's say, it's not directly related to urban setting. However, when we fund a smart city, smart grid pilot, it is fully in line with the Smart Cities mission. And progressively, all AFD interventions in India are focusing towards the Smart Cities mission, where it's a common denominator and it's an integration, very strong integration factor. And finally, of course, as you know, today by seeing all the huge competence in this room, it's also a good field of intervention for French know-how and technologies. So let's say it will be the next topic of our intervention in India. Thank you.